Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat myself, Susie, because I just hit record for those that didn't see it. Dev updates, we finished contact us, and the page not found.
Yep.
Oh, and Will updated the absolute hell out of the documentation. That's probably the biggest change.
Yes, I saw that. That was beautiful.
I'm very proud of you.
Still have work
It's
to do with
amazing.
it, but
We can sit down after this meeting.
Part of the process was having me like look through it because I'm not a developer anymore and seeing if I could like understand it.
Hey Susie, have you done the NPM stuff yet?
No, I'm not downloading no or whatever. Like no.
No, but I read it.
I understood the words. All right. Okay, so let's go over this week's progress. Blah blah.
is there any way to make yourself louder?
Yes.
If you right click on her in Discord and move the volume up, you can make her louder.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Am I output or input? Is that a dumb question?
You want output to make yourself louder.
All right. How about that? I don't know if that did anything.
Nope.
Better.
Not even a little.
All right. I'll use my big girl voice. All right. So let's go to Figma and check out everyone's progress.
Ooh, someone joined in.
Oh, what do we have?
Oh, Breeze.
Hi Zach.
Oh, it's Zach.
Hey, what's up?
Oh.
Tell the boys hi for me.
How's the play date going? He's not gonna unmute himself. All right. Fardy, let's see what you've done this week.
Yeah, lots of formatting, and I'm still not done. Things have shrunk, as you can tell from the previous version.
Oh,
It looks so good.
I've expanded some of the assets out horizontally, and now the margins are set at 120. It kind of cuts into the white space a bit on the sides, but since we have a lot of free floating vertical white space, it isn't that bad. I've created two color styles based on the color palette we discussed last time, and it's just heading and body. So you guys could also use it for your designs, but the colors have changed for some of the links based on those two, and I've repositioned some stuff. Some of the frames have also been shrunk down to 600 vertically. Before it was 700. Since like if you were to go into live preview, you would have had a difficult time seeing the next frame when you were on any other frame. So the transition wasn't as clear, so I kind of shrunk it vertically. The copies changed for the values. So if you look over from V2 to V3, I've kind of edited it with a little bit of my style, but also just making it more concise and trying to still convey the same message. I still have to come up with a title for resources and copy for the button for that, but the body copy is kind of a final draft from my end. So if anyone wants to go in and edit that or comment on it, feel free to do it, because I'll probably create a V4 version off of this with more final changes. So yeah, that's a lot of the edits on this. Still ongoing, and I still have to change up the testimonial section, probably the supporter section as well, and kind of get rid of the placeholders. And Bread for the Journeys logo instead, since that is an active partner, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this is pretty much what I've been up to with the landing page.
Great work. I like how this has changed. The little I don't know what to call it, like the wave thing. That's really neat. I feel like it goes with the images that we have here, made by Daniel.
Yeah, the showcase
really
section. The showcase section, I'm not too sold on. At least the way it is currently. I'm trying to see what else I can come up conceptually with some of the copy that was placed there, and whether it's some sort of image from Daniel's end or something else entirely. I don't know yet, but I think it's too inconsistent of a break, and it really, while it does have that free flow wavy form pattern across with the different visual images placed throughout, it's a very abrupt break, if that makes sense. And it kind of, at least the way it is currently, I think there's a few things that could be tweaked on there.
Gotcha. I think maybe the little leafy bean gray thing that's kind of behind a lot of the not placeholder images, the images. I feel like that could almost go here, like behind the text. I don't know if that would involve a lot of work on Daniel's end, but maybe that would look, because it'd be like a leaf behind all this. I don't know if that would go well together, but I'm thinking it'd go with the whole overall theme and feel of the site.
Which leafy background are you talking about?
Just the gray like leaf that's all behind all of these.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Also, Daniel, I think the butterfly and the leaf over here are missing one eye each.
Oh, they're facing the other way.
Oh,
They're
okay,
looking at
that,
the
that makes
computer.
sense. I was like, wait a second, where are their eyes?
Does anyone have any other feedback for Fardine's work from this week?
Only thing I would say is on our supporters area, I would just put them in a row instead, because you should have enough space for them to all fit.
Yeah. Okay.
Apart from that, yeah, that's the only thing. I like this wave.
Are we gonna have it say our supporters or like our partners or like because will they be supporting us or will we be supporting them? I don't know. I guess that's
Partners might fit better, yeah.
I agree with partners just because it's a win-win for both of us because they get the benefit of our technology or innovative abilities, and then our members get experience from them. So it's like a win-win for everyone. So I'd consider that more of a partner than a supporter.
Okay, I can definitely change that.
Yeah.
That will also let us open the doors to like having supporters there and other discords that we partner with if they have their own logo and whatnot. So it kind of just opens it up for us to be able to do have more things there for now.
Yep. Okay. So make it a row, and the partners think this changed.
Sounds like it. All right, let me write that down.
Yep.
Hey, spitballing an idea here. What's the like things floating in random space thing called? Like none of these guys are in a specific position. Is there a name for that?
Okay, what are you talking about?
That's our partners. Like all of them are like all 5 of the icons aren't like lined up anywhere. Is that like a design choice or
No, it was just me just dropping them.
Okay,
because I was
okay,
lazy.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if that was a intentional choice.
No.
Okay.
It was just me dumping them because I was lazy.
should there be a link at some point or something with our partners that like
Links to the page.
huh?
Wouldn't they just go to the contact us page? I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, just like to give some information on how they could become a partner of ours.
Ooh, that's a really good idea. Like how all the other 3 have like learn more, join the community, blah blah blah. So we do want one of those like green arrows, right?
That would probably have to go under like the organizational tab, along
Well,
with team about contact us.
won't there eventually be a partners page?
Yes.
So it could lead to that. Or when you click on a logo, I assumed that would lead to the partners' just website. So Bread for the Journey would lead to their website. But if you clicked on maybe the text here, I don't know. I have to think about that. Where they lead to.
So as far as getting this to work for development, it's good except for the partners row, right? And missing an image for resources.
Yes.
And I guess Fabrice isn't a girl.
Yeah. Well, a few more tweaks, and yeah, it should be probably one more final draft, and Yeah, it should be good to go soon.
I just figured we could start laying it out.
Yay. Yes. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to mine so we don't have like an 8-hour meeting. It looks messy, but I try to put everything relevant towards the top. So I have worked on cards, you guys, and I'm like not like mad at these, so that's a good sign. So the one on the left side is kind of, I split these into V1 and V2 just because this one doesn't have a learn more button. So if in V1 it's just like static like this, uh that's an option. But if, and then I have on the right side V2, which has a learn more, which they can click on, and it'll lead to more information about the said project. On the right side, I have mobile, and this is just in a V1 state right now. I don't have it in a V2 state, which it just shows the information and no learn more. And that is that. I did work on, this is kind of a bit irrelevant right now, but I'll address it. I've been working on, as of last night, some navigation for mobile. Kind of took DoorDash's for inspiration, except the X would be on the flip side because their hamburger menu's on the flip side. But I appreciated that it's like full page, especially, and like
So
all these have their own line. Go ahead.
is that more of a navigation drawer or a drop down?
I imagined you clicked on the hamburger and then this would like eat up the whole page. Is it anywhere near done? No. But I just wanted to point out that I have thought of it. It's not gone away completely in my brain. I know it's a thing. So any feedback regarding kind of any part of this, the cards, mobile, desktop? Yeah.
I think the card.
Uh,
Go ahead.
I just had a question about you were saying that the static view for V1 for the cards without the learn more link. Are we not including the detailed project page in version 1, or are we reserving that for version 2?
My thinking here was if I can't get a design out for that for V1, then we have a default option. If I can get the designs out for like the project detail pages, then yes, go ahead, make the learn one with the learn more VV1. That was just kind of my thinking on that.
Okay.
If one of the other
And
designers gets free, we could also see if they could do that as a next task as well.
Yeah.
True. I do have some stuff started somewhere.
Also,
Kind of in the like neither regions of this page, but it's like not quite there yet. So
also with keeping in mind with that mobile drop down, we already have one implemented. It's really just not designed. Currently, if you're looking at this active projects one, the toolbar looks like this. You click it, and then it just comes out with all the links. So, like this looks more like a navigation drawer. So if we could keep the concept more of like the links, yes, filling the page, but coming down from a drop down, still showing this toolbar, that'd be awesome. It's an overlay too. So if we did have enough links, it would cover everything, which would be both. But it's really on how we do the links.
I can't remember, but did we?
sorry.
Oh, sorry. Was it? I interrupted. Go ahead, Susie.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. So still showing the top nav, so like the leafy and stuff, but it just like falls down.
Yeah, it's an overlay. It doesn't push anything down. Right now, I
Okay.
think it has the 3 links that we have on top. We can always add. Being in mobile, we can always like show and add more based off the action being clicked. But just like, because this, I don't know, just stay away from the navigation drawer unless we
Okay.
want that. But we already implemented the hamburger with a
Okay.
drop down.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good to know. I was thinking we might need to make a mobile top navigation type meeting fairly soon, just because Zach is a while ago.
I sent a screenshot of what Will was talking about in the oneleif website channel, by the way.
Sweet. So that might need to be something we set up.
Oh, that's the old one, yeah. Now it's an overlay. So that old one that you sent in pushes down.
Mm-hmm.
I can probably send the overlay right now, actually.
Is the overlay like from the side?
The overlay is like this. I'll send a picture.
Okay. Any other feedback from anyone else?
That's what it looks like in the current.
Okay. Yeah, I can do something similar. That's fine.
So I mean, we can design that however is needed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just letting you know it drops down, and I mean, if we're gonna, because we're hiding the footer links in the mobile view because we're saying we can handle that in the navigation. So having all those footer links in the navigation would be able to hide, like take up the full screen like you want.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of why I was doing it like that, but I'll explore it. Again, I just started this like last night, so
Okay.
I just wanted to throw it out there that I have been kind of looking for inspiration for that. Fardine, what are you up to over there?
I can't remember if we decided collectively whether or not to stick with the primary or tertiary button for the link to get to the project page. So I'm just trying to see what it looks like with the primary button instead of a tertiary one.
Gotcha. Also, I spent last night when I was designing all these, making sure everything was divisible by 6 as far as like rectangles and like spacing. I was very like on it. So it is all divisible by 6.
If you're ever worried about that, I could come in and help review. So if you're not too much of a fan of pixel perfection, then just
Pixel
ping me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I just gave you guys the most perfect math trick ever. You should throw it down the drain. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, pretty much. I don't think anyone's too keen on doing math here.
Do we prefer that though? Because I feel like it eats up a lot of your attention versus like
Uh,
I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe
I'm just kind of seeing what it looks like, but the button isn't spaced to properly, so I'm just trying to fix that before I.
let me try.
Could you make your cards a bit wider?
I mean, I could. Wait, for
I feel
mobile
like
or
they're quite.
desktop or both?
For desktop, I feel like they're quite skinny.
Yeah, I could. I was really trying to get 4 on a page because I noticed that like the Meet the Team cards had 4 on a page, so I was like, oh, I want this to match. That's kind of what I was going for.
Okay. I
But
don't know what my margin is. There's a possibility that my one might actually be the same size as yours. 252. Actually, I think it is. I think it's because I don't have a box around it currently, so it feels larger.
larger, yeah.
Yeah. If that's the case, ignore me because I think they're actually the. Oh no, yeah. So
I'd say 3 to a page and wider. Would that be such a bad thing? I mean, I know it'd be different, but these cards are kind of different where they're supposed to like have more information and more content.
I was thinking the same thing, Will.
I'm also wondering if the tags are really like the value of having the tags versus just putting some sort of tabular navigation at the top along with search. So, for example, do you typically see stuff like this on portfolio pay like websites or project websites? I'm going to paste this on the oneleif channel. And when you look at the project features, they don't have any tags. It's automatically sorted based on whatever tab you click on, which would save us some real estate and prevent that clash with a button.
So the tags are supposed to be there to give like kind of like a first glance at the project and let you know like what kind of language is going on with it, if it requires UX design, if it requires front end, like so they bring more of a purpose than look at this point. Uh, when you say tabular, do you mean like it would kind of be filtering projects based on those things?
Yeah.
So that would be more of a version 2 thing. Even then, I'd still feel like we'd want the tags, but
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. No. If
Yeah, that's
if that's the purpose behind it, then definitely.
yeah, it's
yeah,
more like giving information.
I agree. Like that's kind of what we discussed, and that's why I kept the tags in the description. That way, on a first glance, you'd know a lot about the project before even clicking on it. But in V2, like Fredine kind of showed in the oneleif website channel, there could be some sort of tagging or filtering or searching. That's definitely V2 for sure. Or
If
3 or
anything,
whatever.
if anything, could you just get rid of the learn more button or link and just have the card be clickable to and like backlinks it to the detailed page itself if that clash is an issue and we need more
The
space for content?
the only problem with that is then there's no clear call to action, and it isn't that interaction isn't as intuitive to someone who might not know how cards work.
What if
Um,
what if we change like when you hover like the opacity or something changes to show that like there's interactive ability?
Even then, I'd say the benefit of having a resting prompt far outweighs the value of doing it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've thought of this. I do have I can just kind of drag it over here. A while ago, I did have an example where I like added like a cute little bar to the side to like indicate like on hover. The left side is like with no learn more just because these are static. And then I did add a learn more to the right side if they do have a detail page created for each project. Yee. Do you how's the relationship between desktop and mobile? Is it like too weird? Is it doable?
Where's the mobile at? Which one?
Oh, these are both mobile. I just wanted to show you like if I just was on my phone, whatever. But like upon scrolling and like a long view is over here. This is
Yeah, I
all
think this is fine.
current, y'all. Don't look down here. Look up here.
I mean, I think it would work.
Sweet.
You just change the column width of whatever collection you're using, right? Well,
Sorry.
of whatever collection type thing you're using. Like on this case, it would have like 4 columns and X number of rows. In this case, you just change it to have 1 column, and I'm assuming it'd be dynamic.
Yeah, something like that. We would just have flex wrap and then
Oh, okay.
on a certain breakpoint, change the sizing of the cards.
Sweet.
All right. We can move. What is that? Ew. What is that? We can move on then. We'll talk about next week for this after we get through some other people. All right. So sign up and login. That is Priscilla's. Take it away.
Yeah, so I think this week, after the meeting, that's when I kind of started working on like ideas of how we want to do this. So I was just playing around with where to put things with the form and all. I was wondering if we wanted like a full-on like new page where it would just be the form, or maybe we wanted like a modal. And then I was just playing around with where I would put all the stuff with like the social logins and whatnot. So still trying to flush out that idea as well. So kind of wanted to get everyone's thoughts on it before moving on to too much.
Hold on, I'm just going to quickly drop something in the group. Okay, no, I've been automatically signed in. That's not what I was trying to do. Hold on, let me just quickly go on Dribble because I think they have it on there.
I think
And I'm
That's
also
fine.
signed in. Oh no, sorry, no, I'm actually just talking to myself. Go ahead.
Okay. Honestly, for consistency, this page could look a lot like the contact page. With just like more going on in the form here. Although this is a lot of space we need, not that could be used. I think it doesn't have to be a dialogue. If it had to be, but it could just be its own page easily. These buttons. What to do with those buttons? Maybe these could be left align the buttons and a little bit lower.
Oh yeah,
No.
that's
I
definitely
yeah.
not in place or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sign out, sign in. I don't know. What are other people's thoughts? It's a pretty good start though.
I'm definitely setting away from a modal for login. It could definitely be its own page. I don't unless you have a specific reason you were thinking of.
I mean, I just got the idea from like a lot of different like login pages like that I was just going through. I've noticed a lot of them were just modals.
Got it.
So I just decided to like make one
That's
because
fair.
they're usually like really quick anyway, like filling out, just for, like a name, email, and password, or if it's just like a login button. Sometimes I guess they don't need like a full-on page. But
Yeah, I second Priscilla on this. Typically, you see that with a lot of SaaS products or enterprise products. So I think I'll throw in my vote for the modal, or at least not dedicating a whole page to it, just having like a elevated modal or container for what Priscilla just described.
So I was thinking against a modal because if you click on sign in with Google or GitHub, it's gonna pop out open another modal on top of that. I guess I don't know if that's frowned upon or whatnot.
What does this do from a dev perspective?
Sorry.
Like, does that happen, or like the whole modal on top of a modal thing, or does it open up in a new page, sign up with GitHub? Does it like go to a new tab?
I've never. I guess I've never used those APIs to sign anything in. I remember Zach saying that it would take you to a new tab, but I've never had a login on a desktop through a modal either.
It shouldn't open a new tab. It'll open a new window, period. Like it's gonna be a tiny window
Yeah.
just to do all the stuff like on Google's end. And once you're done with that,
Then it brings you
it'll
back.
yeah. So if we do put in a modal, it's gonna be a modal on top of a modal. Like even though they're not gonna be overlaid one top of each other, but you're gonna end up having a second modal right there.
Oh, is that the modal you're talking about, Ardian? In the Discord chat.
Yeah, well, I mean, Rye also put the Adobe, but yeah, that works.
See, I feel like those are less of modals and more of a login view with like a consolidated
Yeah.
like area, because the modal makes me think if I click that login anywhere that it's going to go over any of my content.
I guess maybe it's a matter of how we're referring to modal. I'm personally referring to it as just the container itself, rather than having it like a pop out.
So this modal to me makes it seem like if I'm on the contact us page, logins clicked, this shows up, and then contact us is underneath it.
I think we should do a new page instead of it being a modal pop up.
I like the whole concept of like how Adobe or Discord does it, and then we have an animation in the background with the white, but it would be a new page.
Yeah, I second the new page as well. Just because, well, for one, to add in a modal right now, it would need a good bit of refactoring. And I think to sort of clear up the way we're referring to modals, a modal would be more like the way the drop-down navigation menu is right now on mobile. So when you click on it, it covers the page, but the page is still underneath it, and it's not its own page. So, for example, if you have a navigation drawer, like Susie was talking about, when you open that, that would be more of a modal kind of than what we have in the chat. So I say make it its own page.
I think you're kind of on the right track there, Fabrice, because okay, let's say like okay, so if you hit the login button and a modal pops up, you know it won't cover the entire screen, right? So you'll still see like whatever content you were looking at below it. So that could change depending on what page you're on.
All right, so looks like we're kind of leading more towards a fresh page, but I feel like a lot of what is made from Contact Us is, whoa, I don't know who that was.
That was me.
Um,
Sorry.
I was like, whoa, what's that? Okay, anyways, I feel like a lot of this from Contact Us is quite reusable, especially the way it's half and half, because a lot of these pages actually on the Discord channel that have been shared are like half login and half like some sort of branding on the left hand side. What should be on the left hand side? I'm not quite sure. Definitely something that says like oneleif on it.
More work for
Maybe like
Daniel.
yeah, and then Sabian can work for us roots some copy of like what should be said there. We should probably work
To kind
on.
of give a final point on the modal versus separate page. Sorry, Susie. Um, I guess it would be important for us to consider whether to what capacity the user would be navigating through the website itself. If we think that
Sorry,
Ria.
carry on.
Happy birthday.
If we think that they'll be doing something super important on the site itself, whether it's checking on the projects or doing something else entirely, and we don't want to interrupt them and keep them where they are, then it makes sense to do a modal. But if we're not as concerned about the macro level functionality of the website, that it's not going to be the endpoint, it's more so a way to just funnel them into the Discord itself, then it makes sense to do it as a page because we're not as concerned with the interruption and we'll have to redirect them back to home. So it wouldn't be as frustrating. So I guess that's something to consider from everyone's end.
I'll say right now with the login functionality, after they're logged in, it takes them back to wherever they were before.
Okay, in that case, then if that's a given, then
Right, Fabrice? I think so.
the advantage of the modal goes away pretty much.
I think we have it implemented that way. It's been a while since we worked on the login stuff.
Yeah, it does. We still have it that way. As
Sweet.
long as you're coming from as long as you're not coming from outside of the website, when you log in, you're redirected back to where you are.
Sweet, sweet. I have no idea what that was. So good feedback. I love that we have developers and designers in this, so I can get like every perspective needed. So going forward, kind of like what we said, something kind of similar to the context form, kind of like the Adobe or the what else is in here in the website Discord channel. Kind of like some of those examples. But yeah, you're off to the right track, I would say for sure. Let's move on. Unless if I wait, does anyone have any else feedback? Sorry. All right.
Not yet,
I
anyway.
had one question. It's about the content. Are you gonna require the name as well when they're signing up?
We were saying usernames required, so yes.
Okay.
Or is that gonna be that's gonna be username, right? Not name.
Yeah. Make sure it says username. Just let you know, Priscilla. That's not a big
Username just be email.
username, email, password. Yeah.
So we're using the username to because we're making them putting their name not like optional, but if they make a post or something, we want to have something displayed. I think showing email would be a little too much information over a random username.
Maybe have them put in a username if they ever want to post something. Maybe let's do it that way. Like
So
they
like
don't need to have a username at all. They can sign up without a username, but the minute they want to post content, they have to add a username. Because I think right now with both the username and email, someone's gonna try to log in with their username instead of their email.
unless we specify email on the login.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So my second point to that is we have the Meet the Team page, and that Meet the Team page is going to be dynamic. Every time somebody makes an account, they'll be on the Meet the Team page. If they don't have a username or put in a name, then like what do we put? Just anonymous?
Right?
We should have a default name in that case, but what did we decide on that one day? I'm pulling up my notes from Hack MD.
I think we decided username was required because like it does like for those people that are security nuts or privacy nuts. I guess nut isn't the right word, but privacy conscious. A username has nothing to do with your identity.
Yeah.
Okay,
Keep
it
it
looks like
anonymous if they want to be, which, yeah.
it looks like what we decided is after they sign up, they can add in their username and stuff. So up on the sign up page, it's just email and password and password.
I thought we said since it was required, we might as well put it on the
Yeah, I
sign
thought
up
that
page.
was the consensus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that, and now I'm arguing against it.
It's confusing because it says on our HackMD under after sign up, username is required. But before, like where I have a sign up section, it's not even mentioned.
Whoops.
Okay. For now, I would mock up something that says username, email, password, and then we might need to revisit the conversation on that.
Okay. Good idea.
That's my solution for this week. Let's move on. Who hasn't gone? Oh, Raya hasn't gone for the Meet the Team. Oh, look at us! Look at us! Hey.
I feel like I'm trying to think what I've done on this since our last conversation. I think I was just playing a bit around with doing like an actual complete card over here. And then and then I'm gonna sort these out. I'll probably actually do these this week actually. So I'll actually drop in. Oh, does anyone want to change their name? Because these are the names I'm gonna use currently as like placeholders.
I think it works for now. If anything,
Cool.
Susie, don't you
only
dare
matter
fix
if
the
we have
spelling.
the website.
Sorry, I had an extra Y in there.
That's okay. I feel like
Did you get mine?
Did you send me a picture? I feel like
I think I dropped it in the chat, the core team chat. I'm not sure if you got it.
Let me have a look.
my old username for stuff used to be like Suze, so that's kind of funny. You did 2 Y's because I used to do stuff.
Oh,
like
yep.
that.
Fabrices is in the chat. Wearing a fedora and all.
Okay, let me grab this. Is that in core team?
Okay. That's so perfect. There's a whole story with why I'm snoozy, but it's kind of like irrelevant.
Yep, that's it.
Any other feedback or Raya? Did you have anything else you wanted to say about it? Sorry.
No.
Raya, do you have a man bun?
Yes, I do.
Hell yeah.
Rock it.
Zach and I used to have man buns.
It just doesn't fit Zach because he's like it's not him. It's just not him. But I appreciate the man bun. This is so irrelevant. So irrelevant. Anyone else have any other feedback? Right.
Anyone?
So we're going with. Are we just messing around with this card, or which one are we going with?
So this is the one that I'm currently playing around with. This one here. Yeah. Because I know last week we spoke about doing a version where it's like an actual card instead of like them like floating, I guess.
Just for consistency.
Yeah.
So name, surname, nickname. Or I mean, if we have a surname, the name, and the nickname, we're gonna have to change.
Oh no, sorry, that was just an example. So whether you
Okay.
put in your name and surname or just a nickname.
Okay. Yeah, that's really. Okay, sounds good to me. But yeah, it looks good.
Anything on layout?
I feel like our pages are just gonna end up looking a lot alike, which is good.
Yeah.
'Cause I literally, for my cards last night, I literally copied and pasted these cards, and I made sure like the sizing was the same and stuff. As far as like width, not like content as much, but making
I
them
have a question. Oops,
helpful.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I had a question about the tags. Are you gonna limit how many tags they can have? Because I think you might end up having, say, someone with 15 tags or whatever.
You see
And
how it
it's
says
more
like the
than
plus
anybody
two?
else.
So the discussion we've had, we probably should write it down somewhere, is with tags. We were gonna allow them to kind of like, I guess the order. I don't know. I guess we'd have to reevaluate how we store the data on the back end, but have priority tags that it show first, and not limit, right? And then when you go view their full profile, it has all their tags.
Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, that could
Yeah.
have changed since that last discussion, though. So
For mine, I think I just did it like if it doesn't fit on 2 lines of tags, it just goes to like the +2 or however many other tags are left. I think once we start discussing how profile setup works, will be really when we figure out how tags work as well.
yeah.
The only feedback I'd have is at a very high level about the team page itself. I think beyond just featuring the members themselves, this was the page where we were supposed to, or at least we were hoping to highlight the globalism of the community, and then the fact that we are from various locations around the world working together collaboratively on stuff that matters to us. I don't think I'm too sold by that placeholder just yet. That like spinning Earth, if we can ever get it to animate, or if it ever becomes a thing, because even then, it's really hard to convey that connection between the people and that globalism aspect. Like, it's just I don't know if I'm rambling here, but to me at least, it's just filler. There's no direct connection between, like, we don't have that map that was the initial concept, right? Where we show where everyone is, and you can see directly where everyone is from, whether they're from like Singapore or Germany or so on. Kind of going back to that original concept, I'm going to paste a link on the One Leaf website channel. I think Crunchyroll, to those who are familiar with it, does it very well, but in a very simple fashion. And it'd be interesting to see if we can replicate that, to have that, again, that connection between the members and the global backgrounds. So if you go down to the bottom of the page that I just linked, they have a map where they just highlight the different countries and then just add an icon to the locations in those countries that members are from.
Would it be worth adding location into the, like, for example, I'm just going to quickly copy this actually.
And then the card itself, like
Yeah.
as a tag. Yeah, that could be another way to do it. I think it's just I'm more concerned about that connection again. Yeah, so that could definitely be another way to do it. That's what I was also thinking too. There's probably more ways you could try it.
Yeah.
I think it's more so making that a bit more explicit and a bit more noticeable at first glance. That yes, you can see that everyone is from different countries.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, that's just me. Going back to muted.
I sent another link for how I was thinking of doing the map, by the way.
Our dev team said that they could do the map pretty like on track and like it wasn't too difficult.
Thanks,
right?
Daniel.
So I can see that still being used, but I agree with, I don't even know who said it, but adding the location into for each person into their card would be helpful or cool or something.
We're allowing those locations to be optional. I think
Yeah,
I mean, I would like to have those locations there. It would look cool, but we should also have a card that shows what it looks like if they don't have it. I guess that would just be because that could throw off design. I guess I don't know.
no, I agree because like, if someone's super into like privacy or doesn't want to share that, I totally get it. So I feel like they don't have to fill in their location at all, but that would be an interesting thing to see in a card. Just something to explore, I guess.
Yep.
That's all I have for this page. Any more feedback for Raya stuff? Oh, look, it's Daniel in the core team. Sorry.
Looks good to me.
All right. So, Daniel, do you want to show us what you've done for this week?
Yeah, I mean, I think a bunch of it you guys have already looked at. Back on the landing page, the new active projects illustration. Another simple, quick one. I think it could use a little bit more embellishment, but I think I want to try and generate like the rest of them before I maybe go back and um, like spruce them up. And then one that I had for like this section here where the wavy sort of background was added was maybe like a typing effect, right? So like it'll have like we and then like it'll be like
Oh, that'd be cool.
learn
Mhm.
together, and then it'll like erase and then work together, and then that sort of effect. I'm sure there's like a simple like npm module you guys or component you guys can
Just have it
uh,
pretend it's one of those billboards on the road that are LED.
I have no idea how to do that.
Could it be a video somehow, or like a GIF?
Could we have it as a GIF or something? I
uh,
have no idea how
Am
to
I
do that.
am I like totally like breaking the rules?
Like
I pasted a link. Yeah, like that's it's not the ultimate package, but yeah, that's kind of what Daniel's talking about.
yeah, that's one I was looking at as well. I think that should work.
Oh, I get
Can you
it.
change
Like
the
a
font
text.
style on it?
You
I,
should be
I,
able to.
I would
Yeah.
be
That
confused if you
class.
could not.
Yeah, you're able to pass in a class name, so you should be able to.
That's a cool idea.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that'll help. I'll clean up that section at least, and then we can probably condense it. It might be nice. Aside from that, I guess we can talk more about what I did for the color section when we get to the design system. And the other thing I wanted to note is, I guess if you saw from Priscilla's like sign up screen where she pulled like the page not found layouts there. Those are like those are the breakpoints that we decided on. So I guess when you guys are doing layouts, you have to copy over your layouts to each breakpoint and kind of see how that fits, and then make adjustments as needed. And that'll be helpful for developers to figure out how to code things responsibly.
Yep, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that should be like the general best practice going forward.
I like our relationship with our dev team and our design team. I feel like we work cohesively, which is good. That was a little random, but oh well.
I agree. I agree.
Any more feedback for Daniel?
Just keep killing it.
Yeah, no joke. All right, let's move on to design system, which Fardina, I'll let you lead that.
I don't think there's been too many changes. I'm just trying to create, on my end at least, a library of components so that you guys can have one master component set and just replicate it across without having to worry about those spacing issues or adding issues. yeah, this is kind of, I'm just changing the colors up based on our color set. Yeah, aside from that, I don't think anyone's.
So I had a question about that. I know with the design system, we like reevaluated the text sizes and all that. Were the designs updated with those?
Could you repeat that?
So I think in the design system on Notion, the text sizes were updated since the initial designs.
Yeah.
Have the designs been updated to
I
match
don't
that?
think I don't think they have. I've been working with those like the new sizes on the new landing draft, but I don't think everyone's had a chance to adjust it. And there's a couple of things on the landing page too that I missed personally.
What's a super mega header?
Oh, that's just I guess for whenever we need something that big.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't come up with a label for it, and yeah, just decided to go crazy on it. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
I know that me and Raya had a little meeting sometime this week. I don't remember what day. We talked about logos. I know he cleaned up the logo uh, with the spacing and everything, which is awesome. I plan on making a monochromatic one this week, just like a heads up. Either exploring some sort of like outline type thing to like still get those lines in the leaf, or just like I don't know. I have a couple different options with that, but just kind of a heads up.
It would also be good to have a logo for small use.
Yeah, that's in the doc.
Oh, it is? Okay.
We worked
So
on it.
not the Notion, but the files that me and Susie did. So
Oh,
at some
okay.
point today, I'll drop them into the Notion, like the visuals anyway. Yeah.
Got it. All right. Yeah, that was my concern mostly. If that's
Hmm.
covered, then correct.
I can add that document to the Google Drive too. I just haven't yet. What about these other sections? Just out of curiosity, any progress with those?
Me or
Oh, I just meant in general, like for like, I guess brand strategy. That's my stuff. That's
oh,
almost there.
so I just need to quickly look at the.
Oh yeah. Iconography. I've been looking at a few frameworks. I haven't decided yet, so that's still on pause until um, I can make a decision to get back to the team. But the rest is an eternal review, which I'll get to once I finish the landing, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything they want to say for design system? Otherwise, we'll go over like next week's kind of goals.
Uh, just that once I have the component library up and start adding more things, if anyone has um, components that they've been using that they've created personally, feel free to add it into that. I don't know if I'll get around to curating everyone's page, just because there's quite a lot of frames, but I'll try my best. But if I miss anything and you've made your own component that you want standardized, just put it in there.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's go over just like what we all plan on doing for next week. Yeah, let's do that. So back to Figma, looking at Fardeen stuff. Fardeen for this week. You said rows for partners, change text to say partners. What else did you have? Sorry.
Just a couple of tweaks here and there. I still have to
Yeah.
finish up the testimonial section and have to edit the copy for the resources too, and figure out the tertiary button sizing as well with the new type scale. Um, I wanted to play around with the footer. I've added the social links that Priscilla made, so that's been changed. But I'm not too satisfied with some of the positioning, so I might play around with that. But basically, creating a more progressive draft of what's up there, and working on that wavy showcase section. with Daniel too, if you can figure out how to tweak that too.
Gotcha. Mobile at all? After you
Uh,
do those tweaks, I assume.
yeah, I'm hesitant on mobile because just because if I guess in any case, if you were to start them in parallel, you'll have to do two sets of changes um, based on how macro those changes are. So since I did start with desktop first, I at least want to complete that path before going into mobile. But if it was the inverse, it would also be the same way. But aside from that, parallel processing right now might be double the work.
Gotcha. Do you think your designs will be ready for V1 next week? Because it looks like you're really close.
Yeah, I think if if we can hammer out this final placeholder visuals and fix up some of the remaining tweaks that I mentioned, then yeah, it should be good to go.
And
Awesome.
that'll be a
then
mobile view too.
Yeah, so once it's finalized, I can roughly create the mobile view relatively easily. But yeah, it should be good to go if we can get those in.
To help yourself with that quote or the testimonial section, you might want to copy Fabrice's Animoji and see if it fits the style that you got going on.
My
Oh,
what?
I didn't consider that. Yeah, I can take a look at that.
Your Animoji thingamajig, your picture,
the little
Oh, oh,
profile.
your guy with the fedora.
yeah, yeah. Got you.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I'll just put like V1 as a goal. If you don't quite hit it, that's fine. But I like to set goals. All right. So moving to Suze's stuff, aka me. Working on mobile nav for sure. Because that kind of affects everyone. Cards. I was pretty much solid with these. I can explore the tertiary button instead. But as far as cards go, I'm comfortable with these being all right for V1. I can play with spacing a little bit, but maybe I do that. I wrote down for myself, play with spacing a bit, but otherwise ready for V1. That's my goal. I just want to be ready for V1 on this. Okay, moving on. Let's see who's next. Priscilla. So what we talked about. Okay, so we're kind of, let's make it its own page. So sign up on own page, and then what's that called? A little bit higher fidelity of what it is. I'm kind of matching that contact us page a little bit. Contact us page, but also some of the examples in the Discord. All right. Sorry, I'm typing instead of writing, which I'm a slow typer. Okay, and then Daniel for this week. Let's go back to landing. Let's see. What did you say? So, any sort of like cleanups you want to do on these? Otherwise, the resources place. The resources image. Sorry.
Yep. And then I think probably the active projects illustration as well.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. As well. All right. And then, oops, I forgot Raya. Sorry. I'll go back. Meet the team. So for Raya, kind of exploring adding location to the card.
Yep.
To the card, and then like making these look more card-like.
Yep.
More card-like. I feel like we're in a similar boat. It's like it's like I could be ready for V1 next week. Uh, yeah, just higher fidelity, that kind of stuff. All right, so that is for next week. That is everyone design wise. Yes. Also, so kind of needed to bring this up. So next week's Easter. Um, I have talked to the Roots about this. We're not sure if we should just like. We're thinking maybe we just have everyone do like a stand up over the weekend in the core channel. And then not have a meeting just so if people have plans or if they're busy that weekend, they're not like obligated to go to the meeting or whatever. Anyone's thoughts on that?
Stand up sounds good.
Yep. I'm personally free, so I might be on the voice channel just to chat with anyone who's also equally as free. But yeah,
Far
anyone else, I guess.
Fardian can't go a week without us. Come on, you know better.
I didn't want to make it like what's that called? Mandatory because it's like I don't even know what my schedule is gonna be like really. I assume I'll FaceTime my family. Um so let's plan on at some point in the weekend, so kind of like let's say like Friday through Sunday of next week, just kind of post a stand up of how you're doing. Um of like your progress.
Yeah, what we could do, if these meetings are too much, is like doing the stand up, and then once we're all at a good point, we could plan a feedback meeting, or just keep throwing back in the feedback channel.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
I appreciate the uh, I appreciate not assuming that we're all going to show up. But yeah, no,
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty free. I think my
I think a lot of us are free right now.
yeah, I think every day has been like family time already. So I think like my parents and I are very sick of each other already. So I don't think next Sunday is going to change that. So I'll be around.
Got back home.
Sorry.
Said it's good to hear that they got back home where they stuck in
Yeah,
Europe.
yeah. It was so surreal because literally 2 days after they announced the whole shutdown of the border, and a friend's parent who had a flight later that week couldn't had to cancel their flight. So it was so close to it that it was just such a surreal moment. Um, and then we had to go into complete lockdown too because they gave my parents like papers to say that hey, everyone in your household has to be inside for 2 weeks. And because of the whole state of emergency, if we're caught outside, we'd be fined. Yeah, it's just been such a weird period because on top of the regular quarantine shenanigans, there's that official declaration of yeah, you could get charged. When I haven't even personally done anything, it's my parents who were the ones flying.
That's crazy. Okay, I love the conversation, but I just want to make sure the design meeting ends. Okay, so this is what I kind of figured. So anytime between Friday and Sunday next week, just kind of post your stand up in core. And then if you guys want to meet, we can. It'll be more informal and optional for sure. That's all I have. So thank you all for showing up and working hard. Yeah.
Get out of here, you hooligans! It's
Thank
Sunday.
you.
Yeah. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks. Catch you all later.
Have a good
Bye,
one, Ria.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I put all the notes in Notion, by the way.
They left.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I missed that part. So what did you say?
I put all the notes in Notion. Sorry. I've been taking them as I go.